No intro, let's go. Got an email from a guy called Seth. Title of the email is Burnt Out and Stuck. He starts off by saying, "Hey man, I'm exhausted and don't know what to do. I'm running on empty. I wake up tired, got a job I hate, come home drained and repeat. I've lost interest in pretty much everything. Training, social stuff, even stuff I used to enjoy. I just feel like I'm going through the motions. Part of me wants to quit and change my life, but I don't know where to start. Everything feels too much. How do I even begin pulling myself out of this? Appreciate any advice you got." Well, Seth, I've got a few pieces of advice for you because I'm pretty sure so many people have felt this way about life, including myself. We've all been there, and if you haven't been there, good for you so far, but the chances are you will get there at some point in life. And it sounds like an impossible feat to change your life around to the point where you gain so much more happiness out of life. Whilst it might sound impossible because it seems so far away, it simply is not the case. You can turn your life around at any moment in time that you want, but it's not going to be as dramatic as you might believe it to become. You have to understand that it is a process, and any process has a start point, it has a middle area, and eventually there's an end point, a goal, a state of reality that you want to achieve. So the very first thing that I invite you to do is to fix the short term. And whilst you are in the midst of this lifestyle that you feel exhausted, drained from, and you don't like, and whilst you are running on empty, you need to find a way to get yourself through that state of rut. And this reminds me of a time when I was studying for my A-levels and I was falling behind. I did really good in my GCSEs. When it came to A-levels, I struggled a lot to begin with. Particularly, I struggled with the subject of maths, which I had been really good at during my GCSEs. And so every time I open my books to study maths, I just freeze and go blank, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, I need to pass these exams, but I just can't get myself round to studying or finding any enjoyment out of studying. And the simple trick that I used to get myself through that and eventually get an A grade in maths was every time I sat down with my books to study, I'd literally stare at the books and say to myself, I hate this right now, but I'm going to learn to love it. I hate this right now, but I'm going to learn to love it. I hate this right now, but I am going to learn to love it. Guess what happened? Very quickly and very swiftly, I stopped hating studying maths and I actually started to enjoy it. As a matter of fact, I got to the point where I couldn't really wait to get home to study maths because I felt a sense of accomplishment and achievement out of doing so. And so every time you wake up in the morning and you don't feel like getting out of bed and going to work and doing what you need to do, you can just lay there in bed. But say to yourself, I really don't feel like doing this, but I'm going to learn to love my life. I don't really feel like doing this, but I'm going to learn to love my life. I don't really feel like doing this, but I am going to learn to love my life. Trust me. Very soon, you will love yourself and the lifestyle you have, irrespective if nothing dramatically changes in terms of what you do for work, what your hobbies or activities are, who your friend circle is, or anything like that. This is going to start to program your brain to learn to savor the moment and enjoy it rather than dread it and make it feel like something that's a burden on you, that's draining your energy. In the medium term, you have to instigate some sort of change. That doesn't mean quit your job. That doesn't mean change country or anything like that. You don't need to do that immediately. In the medium term, you need to find something that brings you joy in life. Something new, something thrilling, something exciting. And the way I want you to go about this is almost as if you're having a breakup. When you have a breakup, what do many people do? They find something to hold them grounded. A lot of times that's going to the gym. So people break up and they want something to hold themselves together with, and they discover the beauty and power of working out and improving their health and fitness. After a while, what do you realize? That person gets over their ex, they move on in their life, they level up, and eventually probably get themselves into a new relationship. So treat the situation that you're in right now almost like a breakup. Rather than breaking up with your partner, if you have one or don't, break up with yourself. Break up with this version of yourself that you are currently held within right now. And in doing so, whilst you're breaking up with yourself, detaching from who you are right now and eventually attaching to who you will be in the future, find something to ground you. If you don't go to the gym, I highly recommend that you start going to the gym. That's one of the best ways you can use to help build yourself up and improve yourself in order to carry it over into a new life or lifestyle that you are going to live. If you don't like the gym, pick a sport. If you don't like a sport, do something as simple as going for a walk every single day for an hour and listening to a positive, empowering, and inspiring podcast. Whatever it might be. Watch these videos whilst you go on a walk. And in the long term, you've kind of answered the question yourself. Part of me wants to quit and change my life completely, but I wouldn't even know where to start. There's your answer. You need to quit and change your life completely. Over the long term, whatever it is that you're doing, that job that you hate, whatever social circles that you are in, the environment that you are in, anything that you find is draining your energy and impeding upon you living your life to the fullest and enjoying it to the maximal, you need to quit those things. You need to change them. Change your job. Change your social circle. Change your sources of enjoyment. And eventually, trust me on this, eventually, you won't ever feel like writing an email like this again. Because one, you would have surely turned your life around to the point where you truly enjoy it. And secondly, you would have learned the formula that if this ever happens again, you know what to do to sort the situation out. And that, my friend, is how you stay resilient.